Hmm. So last class we did with the air resistance one. So we start with spring-based problems. So when you talk about a spring, this is the symbol for a spring. We call this thing natural length. What is natural length? Natural length meaning the spring is neither stretched, there is no elongation or no compression. Basically, the spring will not exert any force. Such a length is called natural length. Now, springs have this property. If you stretch them, what do you mean by stretching? The length is more than natural length. We call it elongation. It is stretched. Suppose if the length is less than the natural length, meaning someone pushed it inside, so we call this thing compressed. So when you say a string is compressed or elongated, it totally depends on whether the length is more than natural length or less than natural length. And here we find out the force, the spring force, is given by minus k x bar. This k is a constant. We call it spring constant. So what does the spring constant tell you? Higher the k, so the bigger the value of k, more difficult to elongate or compress the spring. So if you have two springs with one k value bigger, meaning it is more difficult to stretch or compress that spring. Everyone should keep the cams on. So that's what the k tells you. I'll give you some example on the next page. And what about the minus sign? Negative indicates opposition to change. What do you mean by that? It means if a spring is pulled, so if you pull a spring, what will the spring do? It will pull you back. If a spring is pulled, it pulls you back. If spring is compressed, if spring is pushed, it will push you back. That way. So basically, there is a nature of the spring. You try to push it, it will push you back. You try to pull it, it will pull you back. That's what the minus sign is trying to tell you. So the minus sign is simply a mathematical way of telling the system is going to oppose you. How do we use that? I'll show you on the next page. So what is the meaning of K? K simply tells you, the stronger the spring, more difficult to compress or elongate. Think of it like this, now. You must have seen a spring inside your pen. That spring is very thin and delicate. So K value will be very small. If you see your bike, right, vehicle or something, you have the shock absorbers. That is also a spring. Those are very thick. You can see this for bikes, Hero Honda and all. You will find that spring kind of things. These things have a high K value, so they're not that easy to compress them. So that's what the meaning of K is. Put it down. Copied. Next one. Now, if I show you some examples. So let's say we have a spring here, K is 1000 Newton per meter. The meaning is for every 1000 Newton, the spring will stretch by 1 meter. Let's say you're applying 100 Newtons. And let's say there is one more spring. K is 2000. You're applying the same force. So here what we do, now see, you need to understand one thing. If you look at this spring, this point, what are the forces acting on this? The external force is pushing it to the right. The spring force will push it to the left. That is the meaning of it. And what is the spring force equal to? Kx. Now you can ask, sir, why are you not write minus sign? Now see, that is the meaning of this. If I say 5 Newton minus I cap, or if I write 5 Newtons left arrow, both are same, na? You're getting it? I can say representation mathematically 5 Newton minus I cap, meaning it's on the left hand side. Or I can say arrow is left side, force magnitude is 5 Newtons. So the minus sign is telling you, if you pull me on the right side, I will pull you back on the left side with the force Kx. That's what the minus sign represents. So when you show it on a diagram, don't write minus again. The minus is taken care. Are you getting it? So you can write this thing, So this F external, so simply remember like this thing. F external is Kx in this case. The force, that is again when in equilibrium. So this F external will be minus F spring because both are opposite. F spring is minus Kx. So we get F external is Kx. So that is all just mathematical jargon. So you don't worry about that part. Spring will exert a force of Kx. If you pull it, it will pull you back. If you push it, it will push you back. But keep that simple. Let's not make it complicated by thinking too mathematical. Is that understood? You push it or elongate it, it will pull you back or push you back. Done. So then here we get first one. F is 100 is K1, X1. K1 is 1000, X1. So you get X1 is 1 by 10, 0.1 meter. The second one, F is 100 is K2, X2. X2 will be 1 by 20 or 0.05 meters. So this is what I was saying. Higher the kk value, lesser the elongation. Did you see? It is more difficult to stretch with the same force. You have to apply more force for the same elongation. So just an example, put it down. Next thing, what does spring and spring balances measure actually? This, if you remember, we wrote it before class. Spring and spring balance, they measure tension. And what about the reading of the spring balance? The spring balance will measure tension and divide by gravity G, and that will be the reading. So for example, if it measures 500 Newtons, means it is showing 50 kgs. So reading of a spring balance is tension measured by G. Put it down, have a look at this. Let's see some problems on that. Copy. Hooke's law, yeah, but they taught you Hooke's law okay, in school? Okay, we have a separate chapter for it. Elasticity calculus. We are going to do that then. Next one.
1 minute.
Okay. Yash has already gone abroad, right, for Diwali vacation. He's near that Golden Gate Bridge. See, this guy is still fine. There is one more guy who went to Mars or somewhere. That is in Mulinka batch. So turning the page. Let's see some questions on this. So we got a spring balance, 5 kg. We have done something like this. 10 kg, 10 kg. This is 10 kg. This is spring 1. This is spring 2. Put on all the questions. We will see one at a time. This is 10 kg. This is 5 kg. The fourth one is a good one. So the question is in all these things, find the reading of the spring balance. So what will the spring balance show? Yeah, get them. I'll give you 4-5 minutes. Try all of them, and I'll show you one after another. 35 and 36 are easy. That everyone should get it. Try. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Let me show you. Look at 35. So this is tension. This is tension. This is 50 Newton. So tension is 50 Newton. So reading will be tension by G. So it will show 5 kg only. There is nothing much there. 36. So this side you're pulling with tension, this side you're pulling with tension. If you remember this, if I have a rope, if I pull with F and F, what is the tension? We have done this last class. What will be the tension?
P.
If I cut it there, F.
F.
It won't be 0, it won't be 2F. Remember that. So tension will be F only if you pull both sides with F. So this side you have tension, and this is 100 Newton. This side you have tension, that is also 10 kg, so 100 Newton. So we have T is 100 Newton. So the reading will be 10 kg. So it won't show 20 kg, it won't show 0. Remember that. Most people will either take 0 or 20. It will show 10 only. So 35, 36. So we have done something similar like this. Put it on. Next one. So 37, if you see, that is also easy only. Turn in the page. So if this is spring S1 and spring S2, if I take the 10 kg guy, so this force here, the spring force T1 will be nothing but K1x1. That is the spring force. So this will be 100 Newton. So T1 will be 100. So spring 1 will show 10 kg. Kind of obvious actually. This is easy only. If you talk about 5 kg block, the upper tension is T2. Your own weight 50 and T1 is also pulling down. So we have T2 is 50 plus T1 and T1 is 100. So 150. So spring 2 will read 15 kg. This is kind of obvious because see now this spring S1 is balancing only 10 kg. S2 is balancing 15 kg. So you could directly say S2 is balancing 15 and S1 is balancing 10. No need to do this much. This is an easy one. The next one is a good one.
Sir, 1 minute, could you go back to the previous page?
Done?
Yes.
See, look at the next one. Next one is a good one. 38. How to do this thing? Now here the issue is the system is moving. System cannot be at rest. So one thing I can say, if this is coming down, this will going up. Agreed? System won't be at rest. Now 10 kg will pull everything down. So whole thing will start moving actually. So if I draw the FBD now, so listen carefully this thing. I'll show you one. Next one you can try. So this is tension. This is tension. That is okay. So on the 5 kg block, tension up, 50 down, acceleration A. So this is T minus 50 is mass into acceleration. Up is positive, down is negative. If we talk about the 10 kg block, tension 100 Newton, acceleration is down. So T minus 100 is mass into minus A because it is down. If you got till these two equations, the job's done actually. Physics part got over. Then here what you can do, what is tension then? 50 plus 5A. Take this and put it here. It's just a matter of solving. 50 plus 5A minus 100 is minus 10A. So 15A is 50. So A will be 50 by 15. That is 5 tens are 510 by 3. That is the acceleration of the system. Then you can put this in the first equation, 50 plus 5A. You get 50 plus 50 by 3. That is 200 by 3 newtons. So that is the tension. So what is the reading? Tension by G, na? 20 by 3 kg. So this is what the spring balance will show. It will not show 5. It will not show 10. It will show something in the middle. So like I told you, the spring balance measures tension in the string. Got it? So this is what you have to do. Put it down, have a look at it, any particular step. See, because tension can't be 5, tension can't be 10. Because the whole system is accelerating, things will change. So tension is something else only. So have a look at this, each and every step. Any particular step you're not clear, please ask me, get it cleared. This is an important model. Let me give you one more like this. You can try. Put it up. I'll give you a minute. Copy. So let me give you one. You guys give it a try. Let's say this is 5 kg. This is 20 kg. Find the reading of the spring balance. Any answers?
17.5 by 2.
How much is that?
8 kg.
8 kg.
8 kg.
Yeah, 8 kg. Let's see how to do that. First thing, free body diagram. Tension 50, this will go up. So T minus 50 is 5A. Tension 200, acceleration is down. Be careful with the signs. This is 20 into minus A. Now see here I want to find tension, so I don't want acceleration. So let me eliminate acceleration only. Put it this thing here. That will be T minus 200. Take out minus outside. A will be T by 5 minus 10. This will be minus 40 plus 200 is T minus 200. So this will be 5T will be 400. T will be 80 newtons. So reading will be 8 kg. There. Have a look at this. Any steps you didn't get, please ask me. Now, how to do this problem? There is a faster way. You can remember a formula. Now, again, when I say shortcut or a formula, right, you don't get it out of nowhere. You always derive it with variables. So let me show it to you. See, suppose same problem, if I had used variables, M1, M2, and if I do the same logic here, tension, M2G, acceleration, tension, M1G, acceleration. You can ask me, sir, how do you know which is going up? It doesn't matter. You assume whichever you want going up. Suppose if M2 is greater than M1, the sign will come negative. That depends on the value. So you don't worry about that part. So T minus M2G is M2A. T minus M1G is minus M1A because it is going down. So A will be T by M2 minus G. Take it and put it here. So when you do that, sorry, not there. Put it here. That will be T minus M1G is minus M1 T by M2 minus G. You can simplify this, then you end up with this 2 M1 M2 by M1 M2 G. So what will be the reading? T by G, no? So the reading will be 2 M1 M2 by M1 plus M2. So next time when you see a question like this, you can directly use this formula to get the answer. For example, in the previous problem, M1 is 20, M2 was 5. So we get the reading 225 by 20 plus 5. That is 200 by 25, 8 kg. Same answer, no? Saves you time, nothing much. Instead of drawing FBD, solving all that, we just did the same thing with variables and finished off in one step. So this is something which you can use directly in the exam, helps you. Put it up. Copied. Next one. We have a spring. We have a spring. This is 10 kg. This K1 is 500 Newton per meter. This K2 is 1000 Newton per meter. Find elongation in each spring. System is at rest. Let me show you. If you talk about the K1, first draw the FPD of the 10 kg block. This is 100. This force will be T1. So what is this T1? T1 is the force due to the spring one, which is nothing but K1 X1. So we get T1 is 100, which is K1 X1. What is K1? 500. So you get 1 by 5 or 20 centimeter. So that is how much, the spring K1 will stretch. Next thing, look at this point. The point where both the springs are meeting. If you see this point, the upper spring is pulling with T2, the bottom spring is pulling with T1. What is T2? K2X2, the spring force. And this is K1X1. Since the point is at rest, K2X2 should be equal to K1X1. But I know K1X1 is 100. Kind of obvious again. This spring is balancing 10 kg. This spring is also balancing 10 kg only. So K2 is 1000 into X2 is 100. So X2 will be 1 by 10th of a meter or 10 centimeter. So the lower spring will stretch 20 centimeters, upper spring will stretch 10 centimeters. So they can ask in the exam na question like this also. How much will the block come down? 30 centimeter, no? 10 plus 20. So question can be asked to that sort also. So just find the force in each spring and write is equal to kx. From there you'll get the elongation. Done. Next one. So we have two blocks with a spring between them. And this is 5 kg. And this is going with an acceleration 10 meter per second square. This is 10 kg. So find the acceleration of the 10 kg block at this instant. So here what is happening, kind of like, think of it like this. Let's say you have your friend and you're standing between them. If you're catching both of them, if this friend is running away, what will happen? You'll pull this friend backward and you'll pull this friend forward. No? That's what the spring is doing. The spring is pulling 5 kg backward and the spring is pulling 10 kg forward. So that is creating some acceleration. So first draw the FBD of 5 kg, find the spring force, use that on the 10 kg block. Get it? Try, give it 2 minutes. Just do this thing. I'll be back in a minute. Able to hear me, right? Hello. Hello. Able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. No, I think the power went off here. I'm just working on data right now. Let's see. So how to do this thing? Take the 5 kg FBD. So this force is 100 newtons. The force X is backward, acceleration is A. So you get 100 minus Kx is 5 into acceleration is 10. So from here you get Kx is 50 newtons. So using the same force on a 10 kg block, acceleration likely to be A dash. So you get Kx is equal to 10 into A dash. So Kx is nothing but 50. So that's what I'm saying. See, you're not interested in K, you're not interested in X. What you're interested in is the spring force Kx. So that gives me acceleration of 5 meter per second square. Here both will not go together because spring can stretch, no? It's not a string. That way. So put it down. Today I'll be teaching you one very interesting technique on how to reduce weight. Because Diwali is coming, people will eat a lot. You don't need to do any diet. Getting it? No exercises. You can eat whatever you want, but weight will still reduce. When someone says something like that, you need to always understand there is always a catch. They say there are no free lunches. It's like this thing, I tell my mother, that only. It's like when you're getting something for free means you are the product. Isn't it? When you're getting something for free and people say this is free, you can have it, meaning you are the product basically. Let's see. Wait. So what do you mean by apparent? False weight. It's not real. It just gives you a sensation like that. So first of all, when we define weight now, how do we define weight in the first place? For example, if you talk about a weighing machine, what does a weighing machine measure? Anyone? What do you think weighing machine measures? It measures normal reaction. It does not measure your weight. And what is the reading? The reading of a weighing machine is nothing but normal force by G, the gravity. Let me give an example. For example, let's say you're standing on a weighing machine and your weight is 3 kg. Let's say your kid brother or sister is standing on you, 10 kg. So what does this weighing machine give you? Will it give you your weight? It will give you total 600 newtons. No? So for the reading will be 60 kg. So it is not giving your weight, it is giving you the total mass, isn't it? Not giving your weight. For example, let me give you one. You're standing in a lift weighing machine. So let's say the lift is going up. Say, you weigh 40 kg. You're going up at 2 meters per second square. If you drop normally only 400 acceleration up. So you get n minus 400 is 40 into 2. So the rate will be 48 kg. That's why this thing for it. Even though the weight is 40 kg, this is apparent. It's not real. It gives you a sensation the weight has increased to 48. This is happening because what the weighing machine measures is not the weight, but the normal reaction. And the normal reaction can change depending on the acceleration of the system. So this, we call it as an apparent weight. So put it down. Have a look at this. Anything you didn't, please ask me. Most important. So depending on the weighing machine, it measures the normal reaction. Copied? Next one. So let's do a question on this. And mass is 60 kg. The lift is going down. This is a weighing machine. And the reading of the weighing machine. And how much will it show? You can actually try this thing in your apartment. You can take a weighing machine, put it in the left and stand and see. When this thing starts or when the lift stops, you'll observe always the weight will fluctuate. Once the lift comes to a constant speed, it won't matter. You'll get your own weight. But when it is accelerating, when the lift starts or when the lift is stopping, you'll observe there's a fluctuation. Get this thing? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Able to hear? Okay. I don't know why is this Wi-Fi troubling all of a sudden. Okay. So how do you find this thing here? So if you take the Fibon diagram. So normal reaction is up, the weight is downward 600, acceleration is down. So you get n minus 600. Why is this cracking? 1 second. Wait, I'll just restart the router. Is it better? Yeah. Better now? Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. Sorry, our voice is gone again. Is equal to, this will be what, 60 into a is 2, no? Minus 2. So this will be how much? 600 minus 120. That is 480 newtons. So what will be the reading? 48 kgs, no? So even though your real weight is 60 kg, the weighing machine will show 48 kgs. So this is how you can reduce your weight very fast. No exercise, spot reduction, getting it, no treatment, no side effects. Only problem when the lift stops, you will get back your weight. So there, works. Put it down. Any doubts on this thing, please ask me. You can try this thing in your lift. I mean, you won't get this much fluctuation, but let's say your weight is 60, you can actually see when the lift starts going upward, you will see maybe it will go to 61, 60.5 or something. When it is coming down, you will see weight will go to 59, 59.5. You will get that much difference. One thing, everyone in the lift will look at you weirdly for using a weighing machine inside an escalator, but fine. For the greater good of science, you can try that. Next one. So this thing, right, happens not only with weighing machines, but also happens with spring balances. Imagine you take a spring balance and keep it in an escalator. And let's say you have 10 kg ka weight. And let's say the lift is going up with 4 meter per second square. Find the reading of the spring balance. Everyone copied the previous question, or should I keep it for a minute? Copy it, no? Get this then. What is the answer? Look at this thing. Draw the FBD of the 10 kg block. The spring force 100, acceleration 4. So T minus 100 is 10 into 4. So you get 140 newtons. So reading will be 14 kg. That's it. Clear? So that is about the apparent weight. So whenever you're in an accelerating system, right, the weight shown by these machines actually go wrong. You can experience this thing. If you have gone to Imagica, na, the rides, the nitro, when this nitro ride goes to the topmost point and you start falling, you feel a sensation of weightlessness. So what you're experiencing is that only your body, right? The weight is not acting. You feel almost like, there is no, the weight is quite less. So that is the sensation which you feel and you think it is excitement. On the other hand, your body is thinking, shit, I'm dying. You think it is excitement. So it depends. It's like, this is a normal, this is excitement, this is death. So for different people, they have different threshold. Getting it? For some people, right, the threshold is here. So they think like, this is all excitement only. For some people, this is the threshold. They think this is only death. That's why some people can't get into the ride. The worst thing was this, there is one Gold Rush karke, there is a ride in Imagica. This ride, one of my friend was there, Arvind karke. He was not scared of any ride, but this ride he was hell scared. What happened was that ride when it goes, this thing takes a sharp turn. So if you sit on this corner, it will feel as if the track just ended. This guy couldn't see the track. It is not understanding what is happening. This guy got, he felt like, shit, I think the track ended. Like he was getting scared that way. He knows the track won't end, but I think during that moment, right, you won't realize it. That was one. Another thing is if you have gone to the water park, there is one ride like this. There's a capsule. You stand inside. They just open the doors. Gone to that? So there is a water car ride. Basically, it's like this. They just open the doors. You just fall on your bum and then you slide. Getting it? So there is a huge line for this thing. Okay. So when we are climbing it up now, we are looking at people. Out of every 4 or 5 people, right, one person is going back. And we didn't understand why people are coming back. Once I reached there, then I realized actually what was happening. They just open you stand there, they just open the door and people just fall. What was more scary, right, is not falling. Anticipation, when will the door open? And that's what, scares people away. So I went inside, the door opened. And one thing that I realized, everyone, they raise their hands. When the door opens, everyone is raising their hands like this. I was thinking, yeah, why people are raising hands? Like, why doesn't make sense? Once I went inside, even I raised my hands. Then I realized what is happening. Actually, I'm not raising my hands. It is inertia. My hands are there only. My body is falling down. So it gives me a feeling my hands are up. Newton's first law. So you don't want the hands to go up. You have to literally, keep them tight. If you just leave them, to the hands will be up only. So it is basically that inertia thing. Then second thing that I observed, right? People close the eyes. I was also closing eyes. So to test this thing, I went again second time. So third time, I went third time. Then and then I thought like I will keep the eyes open and see what will happen. So this time I kept my hands tight. I kept my eyes open and the door opened. Once I started falling, the water started hitting my face. So then I had to close my eyes. The biggest problem, what? The ride happens so fast, meaning the moment the door opens and you come out, it is less than 7 or 8 seconds, I guess. You don't even realize what happened. By the time you feel like, oh shit, something happened, you're out already. The worst thing was this, there was one fat guy who got into it. The ride is actually like this. It takes a turn and comes out. This guy went here and got stuck here. Luckily, there's a door here. I think some smart guy, they understood. People get stuck at this point. So the person came, opened the door, they pulled him out. The ride continued. Now I don't know whether, how this magic is still there or what will happen, but it was fun. I went 4 times total. After that, I got tired, bloody climbing that. I felt like they should keep a lift or an escalator. It is tall. So give it a try. Next thing. Motion on an inclined plane. The best ride I had, right? I went to Singapore Universal Studios. Arey yaar, what a ride that was, huh? It was like this. You sit on a chair. This thing goes forward and this thing rotates. Spiral. It's like a screw thing. Huh? You're rotating also, you're going fast also. And at one point, it's like this. The ride goes like this. So you're literally spiraling and there's a water here. People go mad. Right? I went 13 times. My friends were like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was just getting done. I was running. Hey, I was getting that. Again, I was like, hey. I must have gone 12 to 13 times. I was counting. My friends said, like, this guy's gone mad. They charged $100 there. I was like, pura paisa vasool karna hai. So I went at morning 10 or 11, evening till 6, I was playing alone. All my friends got tired and they're like, we can't. I didn't get up next day though. That's a different story. So, motion on an inclined plane. That was when I think I just passed out of IIT 2011 or 12, I guess. So, yeah. So, what happens here? Let's see. This is a question plus you can do it as a problem. You have an incline theta. There is a block here. So the question is find, and this is a smooth incline. So what will happen? This will slide. It will just like your park may you have this kids ka slides. Find acceleration and normal reaction of the block. Get this thing. I'll give you a minute. Try. If you remember, we have done this thing. How to divide components in equilibrium problems, and we have also done this in motion on and projectile on and inclined. Try. Let me show you. Listen carefully. This is important. First thing, when you take this incline, if you look at these forces here, this is mg, this is theta, so this is the normal. So this angle is 90 minus theta, this is theta. Hope the angles are fine. Next thing, so if this is mg, this is the normal and this is theta. So the side where the angle touches is the adjacent side. So that will be mg cos theta. Automatically the other side will become mg sin theta. So these are the components of mg along the plane and perpendicular to the plane. Now, when I draw the FBD now, look at the forces. This is normal reaction. This is mg cos theta. This is mg sin theta. These are all the forces acting on it. So basically what I'm doing is I'm choosing this as my x-axis. This is my y-axis. So this will be acceleration x, So if you write the forces in y direction, what are the forces? N minus mg cos theta is mass into acceleration in the y direction, which is 0. The block is not going up and down. Na? Block will simply slide, isn't it? It can't fly out, it can't go into the wedge. So we get normal reaction is mg cos theta. So this is the normal reaction. If you write it in x direction, there is only one force, mg sine theta, which is mass into acceleration. So we get acceleration is g sine theta. This is a good result to remember. But remember, you can use it only when one block is there on an incline and sliding. You keep strings and all, the whole thing will change. So the block will slide down with an acceleration g sine theta, and the normal reaction is mg cos theta. Have a look at this. Anything I didn't get, how did I divide the forces? How did I get the angle? Anything, please ask me. Get it cleared. Done. Next one. Last one. So 45 degrees, we have a block here. This is 10 meters. It is smooth, so it will just slide. So when you leave the block, it will slide down. Na? Find the time and the speed when it reaches the ground. So in how much time will it reach the ground and what speed it will come? Find the time and speed when it reaches the ground. Hope the question is clear. Anyone didn't get the question, please ask me. Any answers?
Sir, is it 2 seconds?
Time is right. You have to use the result from the previous question. See. So when the block is starting here, what is the acceleration? G sine 45. Just now we saw na acceleration is G sine theta. Now if this is 10 meters and this is 45 degree, so when it is sliding, this is the displacement, no? So we have acceleration is G sine 45. That is 10. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2, so 5 root 2. And we know sine theta, that is sine 45 is opposite side by hypotenuse. So S will be 10 by sine 45. That is 10 root 2 meters. So indirectly, the question became like this. Your initial speed is 0. Your kinematics is back. So you have, basically this is your x-axis. Your initial speed is 0. Acceleration is 5 root 2. Distance you want to travel 10 root 2. You want time. S is ut plus half at square. S is 10 root 2. Initial velocity is 0. Acceleration 5 root 2. Time square. Root 2 will cancel. 5s are 2s are. You get t square is 4. So time is 2 seconds. See, once you got acceleration, right, the loss of motion chapter is over. Then it's simply a matter of kinematics. You want speed, na? V square minus u square is 2as. V square initial speed is 0. Acceleration is 5 root 2. Displacement is 10 root 2. You get v square is 200. So speed will be 10 root 2 meters per second. So it will reach the ground in 2 seconds with this much speed. Have a look at this. Any step you didn't get, please ask me. Clear? So yeah, that's the last one for the day. I think with that we'll wind up the today's session. So any doubts in today's